Welcome to Subramani. Should you invest in the Zomato issue? Well, I can assure you this was a clickbait to bring you here. I am not going to answer that question very directly. Let me tell you my past experiences in an IPO. So what is an IPO? The legal term is initial public offer. So when a company comes into the equity market for the first time with an offering of its share, it's called an initial public offer. And people have given it various names, including it's probably overpriced and in case of Zomato and all, it's imaginary profits only. And largely it is an opportunity for companies to provide liquidity to its existing shareholders. Please understand that when in an MBA school or while doing CA, you will be told that companies come to an IPO because they want to raise money for themselves. Largely not true, because even if you take companies like say TCS need not have done an IPO. TCS could have just done a public issue within its own employees. Currently it has 5 lakh employees. Imagine doing an issue saying we will allot 1000 shares to all of you, please apply. So you'll have 5000 people applying, and that is as good as having a listed company. Unfortunately, you couldn't do that. You had to come out with a public issue. The advantage for a company like TCS to come out with a public issue was its shares suddenly became currency. You could go and tell somebody, please join me, I will give you an ESOP. You could go and acquire a company in US and say, I can't give you cash, I will give you my shares. Shares become the currency. Obviously, the more closely and well managed you are, the value of your currency will go up. So company should not dilute its currency and find that it has got no value, right? So that was the reason IPO was created for TCS, because it's not as though TCS needed the money. The money was needed by Tata Sons to be able to encash and put it into other businesses and the employees, and therefore all of us benefited, right? It was one of those IPOs where I applied, I got, and I'm still holding, and I have no regrets doing that. Now cut to 2015. 2 companies came out with an IPO, CCD, Cafe Coffee Day, and Indigo. Indigo I think came around slightly under 800, 750, 760. And today it is at about 1800. So you have not done too badly, but in CCD you have lost money. So I don't know why we get this mythical belief that if there is an IPO, you will always make money. It used to be true once upon a time when the CCI, Controller of Capital Issues, controlled the pricing. So you went and said, I want a 10 rupee premium. They would say, no, I will give you only 2 rupees premium. I mean, there were of course ways how to get around the babu. But I'm not talking about that in a channel, right? So, but still there was a constraint, because there was application of mind. They would say why you should do this, and so Garden Silk Mill, I remember, was terribly overpriced. But then it came out with an issue. I have no clue where that company is. Garden Vareli it used to be called. I have no clue where the company is. Similarly, when Reliance Power came out with an IPO, a media company asked me, would you buy this at 450 bucks or something? And I said, no, I will not buy it. So she asked me, at what price would you buy it? So I said 75 rupees is a fair price, because at that time NTPC was quoting at 225. Reliance Power said we will become like NTPC, but that was only on paper, and the promoter himself took shares only at 75 or 80 rupees. So I said 225 is a fair price for NTPC, then this has to be 1/3 or 1/4 of the price of NTPC. So 75 is a fair price. And she laughed and said, but sir, the issue is at 450 and they are talking of it likely to open at 1000, which is what the promoter had said in a public meeting. And so I was very skeptical. I said I would give it a pass. So I made some money in say Indigo. I applied for the IPO for HDFC Mutual Fund and HDFC Life Insurance. I sold the HDFC Mutual Fund, and finally I did not even apply in the HDFC Life. I'm not very clear. I bought HDFC Life when it got listed, but I don't remember whether I had applied. In fact, I don't think I had applied. Great company, everything was true, but I was not sure whether I would get something. In HDFC AMC, I knew I would get because of the reservation. In HDFC Life, also I had the reservation because I was an HDFC Limited shareholder. This is as far as my personal experience is concerned, but definitely the IPO today is not priced by CCI. It is priced by the promoter and by his merchant banker and by a bunch of investors who have to make so much money here to compensate for 9 other deals where they've been completely wiped out. So obviously it will be overpriced. Would I call it overpriced 10 years later? I don't know. I don't even know whether Zomato is fairly priced, not fairly priced. I'm not getting into it. I don't understand pricing today, because for us, we were taught valuation starts from positive cash flow. If there is no positive cash flow, very unlikely that it would make money. But then Amazon or a Google or many of these companies would have done an IPO with a negative cash flow, and they have really done very well for their shareholders. So I don't know the valuation. And in India, it will be the only company, very early companies to go with an IPO in India. So there will be a mad craze. The price may perhaps even be sustained. Personally, I am not applying in the Zomato issue. That is the closest I can say. Largely, the odds are terribly against you because the people who are selling know everything about the company. They are of course greedy. They know when to do the IPO and they know how much to do the IPO, because you can always do a very small IPO, rig up the price and then keep selling in the market and bring the price down. Or if they find that the price is very attractive in the market, do a bigger IPO and dilute it. They have all the powers and they can do all these things even with the regulator, because by the time the regulator finds out what has happened, enough number of small people have lost money. Are IPOs always overpriced? In most cases, yes, because they know that they have to do an IPO and afterwards they don't have to come into the market for a long time. However, many companies are very worried about their reputation, and some companies would like to leave some money on the table for the shareholder. I mean, TCS was a very good example of wanting to leave some money for the shareholder. So the Tata Group is also reasonably ethically managed. I'll tell you about one company. They had come out with a rights issue at 50 rupees, and a very aggressive, greedy Mumbai-based merchant banker had advised this company to do their own IPO at 105 rupees. Which the promoter himself felt was terribly overpriced, but he went along and played the game, and it got priced at 105 rupees. And after some time, when the company had to pay a dividend, the company decided to pay a 50% dividend, which meant 5 rupees. The 10 rupee share, so 5 rupees was the dividend, but remember, you bought the share at 105, so you were getting a 5% dividend yield. And the merchant banker told the chief promoter that people are not expecting so much dividend. He looked up at the merchant banker and said, if I do an IPO and my shareholder does not even get savings bank rate of return, I need to die. These are the words he used. So the merchant banker was then banned by that group. That group never dealt with that merchant banker again, right? That relationship was over. This is how clean some promoters are, but largely IPOs are overpriced. And even if you take the Reliance power issue, it was obviously terribly overpriced, so much so that some of the merchant bankers who handled it had told their clients, don't even touch it. So when you have your merchant banking and you have your retail clients and you have your wealth and super HNI, you go and tell the super HNI don't invest. You tell maybe even the HNI don't invest, but you don't have to tell the retail. And then you have the mandate to do the IPO. So with all this conflict of interest, merchant bankers speak multiple languages. So it's not only Ravan who had 10 faces. Bankers have 20, right? So sometimes they have to say something, sometimes they have to say something else. So largely, by and large, with your fees as a percentage of the price that you get, almost all IPOs are overpriced, because the merchant banker wants you to raise a lot of money. Your investment banker, whatever you want to call him, wants you to raise a lot of money. Then he will take your money and deploy it. So he makes money everywhere, right? So there is no reason why he would want to do a small IPO. He would do a small IPO if he thinks only that much will be borne by the market. If the market cannot bear a 50,000 crore IPO, then you have to do a 5,000 crore IPO. If the market cannot bear a 5,000 crore IPO, you have to do a 1,500 crore IPO. I think CCD and Indigo and all were that time in the region of 1,500 crore IPO, because they did not believe that with a fresh first name that they could come out with a bigger IPO. If they could have, they would definitely have, right? So, but it is always possible that the person who is managing the IPO, is he going to come and tell you, sir, apply mat karo? He is not going to tell you that. So he is going to say nice things about the IPO and say, well, it's a great company, and the promoter is very good, and blah 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 blah. Please understand that at the time of the IPO, he is in a complete marketing mode and in a launch mode. So when a car is being launched, do you expect the person to come and say this car may not work well? He is not going to. He is going to talk nice things about the car. So they are in a position where they are trying to sell. So it is obvious that they will talk only about the good things, but it is not a price which is well discovered, because it is the price which the guys sitting inside a room, perhaps with a glass of whiskey or a whiteboard and a pen, who decide at what price the market will buy. It is not the fair price, it's the price at which market will buy, and that's fair enough, because ultimately we would all like to sell our product, whether it is my lecture or my book or anything, to price it in such a way that maximum number of people buy it, and also at a time when also at a price at which the promoter and the merchant banker make money, and the original investors make money. So that is how it is priced. Very unlikely that it will be priced less. I remember a case in point was Maruti. The pricing was very poor, because maybe the promoter couldn't care, and the merchant banker didn't have the guts to price it at 10 times the price, because afterwards it went up 10 times, right? So the merchant banker at that stage didn't know that he could price at a higher price. So if you're at the end of a bear market, and where everybody is pessimistic and there is an IPO, then the chances of it being priced right are high. So Maruti got priced right because maybe the promoter didn't know what to do, and the merchant banker was not very greedy, or the merchant banker's fees did not depend on the price at which he sold. So that price, that was not a very highly priced issue. I think Times of India said it was overpriced, so people didn't apply. So yes, that was an opportunity missed. But largely, staying away from IPOs is good. I am not commenting about Zomato. I have no clue. Personally, I am not applying, because looking at the frenzy in the market, it is likely to be oversubscribed dramatically. So the simple summary is, if it is really good and it's a great issue, you will not get any allotment. For me, getting 100 shares of Zomato doesn't help. If I am a buyer, I am a buyer for a much bigger quantity. And if I apply and I don't get, it's a waste of effort and time. So I am not applying, but that is not a reflection on the issue. It is just that I don't apply in IPOs generally. Thank you.